Well, I think I've had my first Mr. Meldrew moment for the year. Would you believe it, Mr. Meldrew? From 1 foot in the grave sort of thing. So, yeah. Okay. I went out to get some supplies. Yeah, whatever. This to one side. Did a few more things last night to just have a chat about, but got some more of the cat litter. Basically, just newspaper cellulose. Might want to compare that to bran, which is basically cheap sawdust. So when I got that, I also went off to get some sand, some bag play pit sand, as you do. So I'm going to this place. I've been going to this place every fortnight to a month for the past 2 or 3 years, I think. And we got to the stage where the lady said, the bloke across the road, I asked about the grain size was getting a bit rough compared to what it used to be, and she was saying the bloke across the road does other grades, you go and see him, which I was all set to do after we came back from Tassie, but of course we got locked in, and because we always want to do things at the end of the dry into the wet sort of thing. We do our work in the wet, the cool part of the year, and we do our thinking in the dry thing inside with the air conditioner on, so basically. Anyway, so I'm going, and I'm normally buying like 2, 3, 4 bags at a time sort of thing. I just want to get 2 bags today sort of thing. So the usual bags you've seen in the other JPEGs I've sent. So I've just loaded these 2 bags into the car. Normally they've got these security cameras sort of thing. When you go inside, you see the car park and everything, blah blah blah. I've been ranting all for the last probably an hour and a half, I think, all the way down to pick Heather up and all the way, well, not all the way back because she was sitting next to her, but most of the way down. So anyway, so just to finish putting the bags in the back of the boot, and the bloke says, "Oh, we normally like you to come in here and pay for it first. We got signs of this," and I said, "Show me the signs." So as I say this, I do the old data, quick zoom scan of the whole place, thinking, maybe there's been a sign blown down in the wind the other night, because we had a bit of wind a night or so ago, and I didn't pick anything up. If there's anything knocked down, I would have spotted it. So first of all, that was a bit of I didn't spot anything, And so I said, "Show me the signage," and he couldn't. There's somewhere here, blah blah blah, sort of thing. So we go inside, and then, of course, that started me off in a way. I said, this is like Trump, Well, why do they put him down straight away? As soon as he got in there, they're putting him down. He hasn't got into the Oval Office for 5 minutes, and they're already putting him down, sort of thing. It's almost like the as soon as he came down the escalator, sort of thing, they were putting him down for some reason, This bloke has got a past, sort of thing. Blah blah blah. So and then I got onto this other bit because like 2 days ago, I think it was. I think it's Tuesday. Heather was in the lounge, sitting in the lounge, watching this thing. I think Indian cuisine. I think it was with some lass that's out. Some lass comedian. I think she bats for the other side. I'm not sure, but she's been on QI. Quite a lot, I think. I've seen her on QI quite a lot, so sort of. And she's doing this Indian cuisine thing, and there I am in the kitchen, getting tea prepared and doing a bit of washing, wiping up sort of thing, titivating around the kitchen with my ear, listening to this program while I'm doing this, while Heather's watching it, you see. And we get to this point in the part where she's in some part of India, and she's talking about some Indian Hindu god or something, and comparing it. And she compares it to Trump, and she says, between the two, at least he's moral. referring to the Indian God, that the Indian God is moral and Trump is not. And my jaw almost dropped on the ground. I think, how the heck did this get through the censors? I mean, if someone did that to me and I was working at the BBC, she would have been in my office. I said, you know, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, so you're suspended for 2 weeks, and you come back to me in 2 weeks with the evidence that Trump is amoral, or more amoral than this Indian God, and we'll forget about it. But otherwise, you're fired. I would have done the you're fired thing to this woman. I'm still thinking of putting something on the internet. I was thinking I'm phoning up SBS because we don't have bloody phones in. We've got to do it with a mobile or something. You get on a waiting list or something. So I'm just going to put it on the internet. I think I'm going to find out who she is though. I reckon, I don't forget her face. I know she's been on QIs or things, so I'm just going to see if anyone else has noted that, because as I said, my jaw almost fell on the floor when I heard this. I mean, where's your evidence? First of all, it just makes this bold statement on a public programme that's going out in our country at least. It's probably been out on in Europe and in Britain or I think, 6 months before or something. Gone out to millions of people. This bold statement that, you know, compared to this bloody Indian God, you know, at least the Indian God is moral. I mean, I just couldn't believe it, you know, that someone would be that stupid to make a statement like that with no evidence. It's a bit like that Billy Bush tape that came out. Remember that? And then 6 months down the track, suddenly you think, hang on, that's not the sound of a Tic Tac box. Tic Tac boxes are plastic. That's the sound of a metal tin box. That's not a Tic Tac box. Of course, they did it without actually showing you the event occurring on the bus, sort of thing. So whether they've got footage, I don't know. If they show that, I'll be very interested to see whether it is a metal box of mints rather than what they say on the tape, which is it's a Tic Tac, which comes in a plastic box, as you know, and then the sound is different. So so that was very. So we know that was like bullshit again. Like 6 months down the track, the penny drops, and you really hang on. I spot the salient point in the argument that just blows the whole thing out of the water, sort of thing. So I mentioned this thing, and his mate then sort of doubles down almost. I said, "Oh, you should do some homework, find out what's going on overseas." And wasn't interested. I said, "Well, I might want to bring it here, and if the stuff starts going down and people start dobbing people, then I must start mentioning a few names." I mean, I couldn't believe it that his friend would double. I said, "But I asked your mate to show me the signage, and he couldn't show me the signage." And now you're doubling down for him. You know what I reckon it is? I reckon the video cameras have died or something, and because we're in lockdown situation, they can't get them repaired very quickly, or if they try and get it repaired very quickly, it's going to be expensive, and they may have to, take it out of their own pocket. But I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Am I going to turn up next time and you go, "Hey George, if that bloke comes in again, make sure you show him that sign. It took me 2 hours in the rain to track that down. It blown off in there. It was in the bottom of some puddle with a bit of dirt over it." Do you think that's going to happen next time I go in? I doubt it, but I'm still going to give. What's that phrase in the Bible? Is it in the Bible? You're once a liar, always a liar. But what got me is, why do you just start off with a lie, an obvious lie? You got signs here. What? I'm not going to ask for the sign, and that you can't show me the sign. I mean, immediately, I know you're telling me bullshit. So why do they do that? Is that their magic formula for winning an argument, making friends and influencing people? I don't think he's made a friend. I think he's made a lifelong enemy in a way, and he's probably going to go global. Next time I'm going to go to him, I'm going to say, did you know you're famous in the Dominican Republic? I've got people down in the Dominican Republic that know about you and what you did, sunshine. I don't know, but anyway, we'll keep it. I think we'll try and keep it above board. But then to cap it off, going down to pick Heather up just before I get to the. I'm going down the road just before the car park. This truck's coming there, fluoro bins. So I'm going past this thing, expecting to see one of these bright yellow, sort of yellow to yellowy green sort of bins. It's black as the ace of spades, you know, charcoal black, with just it wasn't even like a 2-inch, it was just like a 1-inch strip of this fluoro crime scene sort of tape round the very rim or lip or seal of the thing. I mean, was it because of the lockdown they can't get the paint, or the paint now is just, you know, that was like a gimmick to get the business going or something. I can't afford the paint now. I think, oh, well, that got us going with the branding of the name, but now we can't afford this fluorescent paint, it's too expensive, or we can't get it from China now or something, so we're going to have to change the name or something. I mean, what are they going to call it? Nigger bins. Yeah, don't get me wrong. To me, the word nigger is a word of affirmment, as I've said this before. Growing up in WA, we were getting the Dam Busters movie. I swear they were showing it like 4 times a year. And so I could almost quote lines, like that line, you know, what possible reason could you give us to getting a Wellington bomber? Don't you know they're worth their weight in gold? And for a long time, that phrase, they're worth their weight in gold, you couldn't find it, you know. I knew it off by heart, something. And it's only now been put back in, restored, because when it was shown to us, it always used to run 5 or 10 minutes to the hour for a 3-hour thing with ads in it, of course. So like it used to run 3 hours. It was a long movie, but they had ads in it, and it used to be like 5 or 10 minutes short of exactly 3 hours. Because as I said, they ran it so many times, you knew the time of it, sort of thing. And then when it went to DVD, it was barely 2 hours long or something. You know. I think, where's the rest of the movie? Where are all these lines that I know, like the worth its weight in gold and things like that? I was really panicking they're going to actually cut the actual N-word out of the movie, because that's the best bit of the movie. You know, they used the word named after the dog, you see, as a word of success. So, you know, the dog's called Nigger, and they decide to use the code word for success named after the dog. You know, the now dead dog got run over, you see. So in memory of the dog, sort of thing. And yeah, Bomb Gone Squadron. So when I'm going to be totally successful with Flytrap, maybe grow something with 4-inch traps. Oh yeah, you're telling me it's dreaming. Maybe something with blue traps, you know, or all the red parts of the plants go blue. Yeah, I'm going to send out postcards around the world, I think, with, you know, Bomb Gone Squadron, you know, nigger, Bomb Gone Squadron. It's everyone knows the word. It's reference to the Dam Busters. I'm not. But Australia, we went into, we fell in love with Scott Joplin music in the 70s. You heard it everywhere you went. It would be down the shopping centre, or, you know, in the lifts, everything. Everyone, with ABBA as well. We went mad with ABBA, and then we lost favour with ABBA until the ABBA Gold turned up, and we suddenly realised there were songs we hadn't even heard before. You know, so for some reason, we got oversaturated with ABBA or something in the 70s. That the early 80s stuff, we like the Day Before You Came, like they've got like one of the few bands that got double swan songs. You know, you got Fernando, and you got The Day Before You Came. The double, you know, not many bands have got double swan songs, and yet ABBA is one of those. And yet we hadn't heard it, basically. It hadn't really been on the radio. Whereas things like the Piper thing, oh, you know, it seemed like each state got a song, and our song was Mamma Mia. You know, from the we had the Black Album, the greatest hits sort of thing. It was more so like each state they chose a song from that to be their song, and ours in Southern ABBA was Mamma Mia, and they played it. It was always like 10 minutes to 8 o'clock before the news. They play it. It would come on every single day for about 6 months. It was amazing. It was almost like the John Lennon Starting Over thing. Where they played it for. It was almost like the whole summer long, basically. They played it from the time of his death all the way through January into early February, sort of thing. Every time you went anywhere, on the hour. Every hour on the hour they played the double, you know, the Just Like Starting Over double fantasy song. And our version here was different. It was extended, and it had, you know, when the guitar goes up, then his voice goes down, they cross over. I think it was because of Big Bob Francis, you know, he had the special relationship, and I think John Lennon must have sent him a special version. Here, Bob, here's his special version, and he played the crap out of it every hour on the hour, right through the summer of 1980 to 81, sort of thing. So, yeah. So, yeah, and of course then what's it 19? Yeah, that was the winter of 1980 was when we actually had water freeze on the Adelaide Plain. One of the few rare times where before I was cycling off to school, I went out the back door and there was the ice cream container completely rock solid, right the way down to the bottom of the ice cream container, completely went solid overnight. Only time I ever saw that. That's on the Adelaide Plain, so yeah. 1980 in the winter or the wet before John then got shot in the beginning of summer, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's all tied up, it's all together, and touching the universal consciousness. But yeah, what is this thing where they just blatantly lie to you in your face when surely they must know if you're saying there's some signage and I'm looking, show me the signage. Well, and then they probably get so offended that you call them a liar. Well, aren't you? Well, aren't you, punk? Well, do you, punk? Well, do you lie? Well, do you, punk? You know, sort of thing. Anyway, I think this is getting on to a bit a rant. I was going to start onto this list of things, but I was going to read you a bit about finger and toe and all this stuff out of here about the relationships of these stole plants, you might want to call them stole plants, and then I was going to move on to things like David Bond, Graham Bond plants, or Graham Bond, not James Bond, but Graham Bond plants. Yeah, as after we went through like Meredith Rayner's work on heather in quotes, the Scottish heather or vaccinium, vaccinium. I've forgotten which is known as vaccinium, but I've forgotten the species name of the. Is it just vaccinium? I don't know. Because we used to Vaccinium oxycoccus is the cranberry, which used to be called oxycoccus. So there has been a lot of name change. If you go back to the old pages, you find out it's like ecological monographs used to be called Plant World for the first 8 years. I think it was 8 years. Could be 8 issues, I can't remember now, but yeah, it used to be called Plant World before it became Ecological Monographs. Of course, the Ecological Monographs, or Plant World, has the Venus flytrap paper in it. So yeah, have I gone over time? You're probably not getting all this important salient information in there. But I just thought I'd tell you about my first Mr. Meldrew moment for 2020. Is it going to get any better from here? You know. I don't know. I just hope Trump wins in November. I don't think I'm going to speak to John Noyen in America if he doesn't vote for Donald Trump. I don't think I will speak to him again. I think we've got this. I think we're developing this sort of Donald J. Trump relationship now. You know, we have something in common to talk about other than flytraps, basically. So yeah. So I don't think he'll quickly find the finger and toe thing and get started into that. He'll give me move things about. It's normally I'm all set for keyboard work here. Finger and toe. On many soils, particularly those of sandy nature, the turnip crop is often almost wholly destroyed by the disease known as finger and toe club or Aubrey. Or Aubrey. It's also known as Aubrey. I think it's Aubrey. Is it Aubrey? I can't remember. I'm going to have to get my bloody mag. I must be losing my sight, fellas, or it's just dingy in here. But cabbages and other cruciferous crops are equally attacked. So much so that in gardens which have become infected, it is generally impossible to what's the word there? Raise crops of this nature. The disease is caused by an organism, for brassica. I think that's the old name. I think it's probably Plasmodium now or something like that. I don't know. Belonging to the slime fungi and forming spores which may remain dormant in the soil for some time, certainly for 2 or 3 years. It has, hence you've got to autoclave your soil, or at least boil it up in something for a long time, or put it in the oven in dry heat for, what is the time? It's quite a long time. It's nearly up to 3 hours, I think it is. At least 2 or something. It's a definite time for dry stuff. It has long been known that the best remedy against finger and toe consists of applications of lime or calcium, basically. So plants that don't like lime in the soil are probably going to be suspect, or what's the word? Not detriment to this this disease. Subject, or there's another word they normally use for that sort of thing. Okay, blah blah blah. This is probably going to run out. He then goes on to that vesicle.